welcome back to the Fat and the Devious podcast. Alright, so last episode we talked about Adrianism, and who knows, you will cover that again, or some other weird fringe religions and cults. So today we're doing a console tier list, and
Never made so loud.
So first off, what consoles have you guys played? How about you first, Nathan? What consoles did you grow up with or have experienced?
Grown up with, I'd say, like...
Or used, just in general.
It's such a good general term, because I've, like, used an Atari, but, like, I don't have, like, good opinions on, like, Ataris in general.
Alright, well, what was your go-to as a child, as, like, a kid?
Either Wii or N64. I did also play Xbox 360 as a kid.
Wii or N64. Those are some solid choices. I think N64... What games do you play on N64? It's kind of depending on what games you had. Some of them are better than others.
Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Mario Kart, Smash, 64.
Okay.
I think there's a couple other, like, Castlevania.
Alright, what about you, Connor?
Played the Wii, the Super Nintendo, the original Nintendo, like, remakes of them, not the originals. Because those are expensive, but, like, I've played, like, the fake, like, you know what I mean. Box bundles that would be, like, mini version of it with all the games on it. Does that count as playing the console? Like, they have all, like, the Super Nintendo games, like a mini Super Nintendo?
Kind of. I mean, you've experienced the games at least. I mean, it's like saying, I like the SNES because I played on emulation. So, I grew up in a devout Christian household, and we were told that if we played video games, we'd go to hell. So I only read the Bible.
I played the Wii, the Wii U, the PlayStation 3, because I'm a rich gamer, okay? I'm a real gamer. I've mostly only played PC, so played a lot of console.
I was joking about...
I never owned an Xbox.
I was joking about not being able to play video games. I could play plenty of video games when I was growing up. I'm not one of those...
I could only build temples in Minecraft on Sunday. I was one of those families.
I can't go...
It's actually my family, too.
I can't go to the Nether in Minecraft. I can only play on peaceful or creative. Yep.
That was a joke, but it's not.
I can only play Noah's Ark for the SNES. Yep. Or Solomon's Key for the NES. I can only listen to Christian dubstep. That's the only music I've ever listened to. But I never heard of that genre before, Christian dubstep.
I'm sure it's a thing. I've heard Scientologist dubstep, so I'm sure there's Christian dubstep.
Oh, man.
Scientologist dubstep.
Oh, man. Scientologists just, like, seep into everything and just ruin it.
It's hard to ruin dubstep because it already sucks.
Unless you know how there's always, like, they like, put words, they, like, sample words and, like, put, like, a word, like, right before, like, the drop, like, the beat drops. Like they sampled, like, L. Ron Hubbard or something.
Oh,
so stupid.
That would be...
Yeah. Alright, so...
I mean, I've liked dubstep that, like, kind of, like, plays, like, old-sounding sound bites in it on occasion, but, like, it can't be excessive.
I mean, I've only ever heard Skrillex and, like, the copyright-free dubstep that was in, like, Minecraft videos, like, 10 years ago. So, I'm sure it's the best of the genre. Alright, so, let's get into it. The first one, let's do a weird one. PS Vita. What do we think about the PS Vita?
I think the PS Vita... It's a portable one.
Yeah, but it's not the PlayStation Portable. It's like the sequel to the PSP, so it's really useless. I mean, the PSP is already kind of stupid, and then the PS Vita.
My friend spotted that.
The PS Vita. I'll see if it's backwards compatible. PS Vita backwards compatibility. Let's see if it can play PSV. Oh, it can play PSP games. Okay. In that case, while it is useless, at least it can play more games than the PSP, right?
Yeah. Like, I already... Oh, sorry, you're saying?
I was going to say, like, the quality in games is pretty bad.
Yeah.
On it. Like, the games don't run very well at all.
Yeah, there's no joystick or anything. You have to play everything with the D-pad. But here's the thing, like, PSP games are, like, you know, those are, like... Because after when the N64 came out, that was, like, the transition to 3D. The PS Vita is long after the transition, yet it only has a D-pad. So how do you play most of the 3D games on the PS Vita? And I know, like... You know, Nintendo consoles have, like, RPG games, that kind of thing. What does the PSP to have? What's the PS Vita have? It doesn't have, like, Pokemon or anything, or isometric or top-down games. I mean, it's just weird. I remember there was a news story about how kids would, like, watch porn on the PSP. So, I mean, you can watch porn on it.
Watch porn on anything.
Okay. All right. All right, PS Vita, I say put it at D tier because honestly, like if you want to buy a console, are you getting a PS Vita of all things?
I think I'd just buy a gaming computer and emulate.
Okay, lame.
No, that's what real gamers do.
Okay, D tier.
Remember when Steam made the greatest Nintendo piracy device ever? The Steam Deck. What was it called? The Steam Deck?
Yeah. Let's do a normal one. OG Xbox. What do we think of the OG Xbox?
What games does it have?
Halo.
Yeah, but like aside from Halo, because that's the first.
Knights of the Old Republic. Here, let's just. There's Wikipedia articles. Xbox games. List of original Xbox games. So I think original Call of Duty, but Call of Duty is better on the 360. So the kind of appeal of the original Xbox was that it was kind of like a gaming computer. It had like the components of a gaming computer, but it was on a console. So it had the power of a gaming computer on a console.
That's cool.
Yeah, while that sounds cool, it hasn't aged very well because, you know, there's a clock capacitor, which is, you know, basically decaying, and the clock capacitor leaks like battery acid all over the motherboard, and then it ruins it. So not very many people really like to buy. People buy original Xboxes, but they'll remove the clock capacitor. Sometimes the disk drive will also fail, and you have to replace that. So maintenance on the original Xbox is just really annoying.
It says it's got like they got like 4 Batman games on this thing.
Yeah.
Never have enough Batman games.
I say we put the original Xbox into B tier because for now, because it has a pretty good library. It has like Halo, Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, that kind of stuff. It had a lot of power behind it. It was the first Xbox. I think it deserves at least.
Combat Evolved is still fun to this day, though. So
yeah,
it's an amazing game. Dad's not even a gamer, and he says when he was in college, he'd play Combat Evolved all day. So.
Oh, but that game's rated M.
I was like, come on, Dad, what the son?
Right.
That's the reason you didn't let me play video games as a kid. It's like I was in college, and even I couldn't like withstand the power of the temptation to play Combat Evolved.
Oh yeah, it's not like you want to play video games; it's because you're addicted. What if we applied that to like, oh, why are you always reading a book? Are you addicted? Okay, so
Addicted to reading.
NES. What do we think about the NES?
Oh, I'm gonna say this A tier.
Okay.
Just because it has Link to the Past on it. No.
Link to the Past wasn't on the NES.
Is that NES? Sorry, SNES. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
NES.
NES. NES has the hit game Zelda 2. Yeah.
Literally the hardest Zelda game, though. Seriously.
Zelda 2? It's so weird.
Yes.
Okay, so NES. Let's find out. Okay, so NES has original Mario games. It has original. Well, I think Kirby originally came out. Well, Kirby came out like Game Boy first. It has the Contra games.
That's Sesame Street ABC. So.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah, A tier. Yeah, so I know everyone says like, oh, Nintendo saved gaming because after the video game crash. It was going to happen eventually. Like Nintendo, what did they really do as a service? Everyone's like, oh, they brought back video gaming to the West. I mean, that was going to happen one day or another. I mean, there were other consoles in that area. There was Sega Master System, Atari 5200. I mean, they had a competition. And the NES basically won. But they had to do kind of stupid stuff because the Famicom disc, the Famicom was a lot more compact. They made the NES beefy on purpose just to look like a VCR. So you had this bulky, console that's supposed to look like a VCR just to appeal to Western audiences. Which is kind of funny. And a lot of these companies are kind of out of touch with, like, the Western market sometimes, like, with that kind of thing.
Speaking of goofy things Nintendo had to do you remember what they did to, like, was it Sega or Atari, like, during the Nintendo trial? They kind of threw them under the bus.
How'd they throw them under the bus?
No, wait, maybe that was Nintendo that got thrown under the bus. Nintendo trial.
Okay, so I just say...
No, never mind. No. Nintendo is the one that got thrown under the bus. No, never mind.
I say NES goes in A tier because, well, yeah, A tier because it has just, like, everything kind of started on there. Like, most modern Nintendo games were, like, started on the NES. Let's get a really weird one. Philips CDI. What do we think of the Philips CDI?
I've never used that.
You've never heard of the Philips CDI. Nathan, have you ever heard of the Philips CDI?
not tell you what that is.
No, I was born in the last 20 years.
You've never seen you never seen like the YTPs of like the Legend of Zelda CDI games? Morshoe? You never seen Morshoe memes? Rope, bombs,
Heard about that, yeah.
lamp oil. Okay, so there was there basically Philips had some deal with Nintendo that they could use their intellectual property on their console, the Philips CDI. So they started making these really weird Nintendo games. They made Hotel Mario. They made Hotel Mario, and then I think a few Zelda games, and they had like really weird animated cutscenes. And
live action cutscenes are the best. They should bring them back.
Oh, have you seen the live action cutscenes for like the Starship Troopers game back in the day? Like I love what was it? Live action cutscenes, like full motion video cutscenes, because the acting is always so bad. It's just amazing.
Seen the cut? I think I shared this in the Discord before. Have you seen the cutscenes in Red Alert 2?
No. Or the cutscenes.
I sent them.
The best cutscenes are in Dark Forces 2. Dark Forces 2 is like one of the Star Wars games, like the part of the Jedi Knight series of the Dark Forces games. So Dark Forces 2 has live action Kyle Katarn, and it's so sometimes you'll see like if you want to blow someone's mind, show them the Dark Forces 2 cutscenes. They probably never see it. Or I think there's a game called Night Trap for I think it was. Let's see, what did Night Trap come out on? Night Trap. Oh no, that was on Sega CD. Yeah, Night Trap is known for having like the worst cutscenes. Yeah, it's a weird game. Okay, so CDI. I guess you guys haven't heard about it. So D tier or no F tier, because who the heck is playing the Philips CDI? It was basically used for like movies, but then it could also play games like as a feature. So that was really its selling point. All right. Original PlayStation. What do you think of the original PlayStation?
Let's look at the list of games, because there are good games, but I don't know what was on them originally.
So there were Doom came out. That was like, I mean, I know Doom's on everything, but it was one of the first consoles Doom came out on. You can see it at my screen, right? You can see the list.
Yeah.
So Ace Combat games came out on there at first.
Ace Combat did? Wow. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Ace Combat's good.
Before people like Ace Combat 4 was like the first one people really cared about. The weird ones like Ace Combat 2 and 3, like Ace Combat Electrosphere. Like, this was weird stuff. Silent Hill. I think a lot of the Squaresoft games, because Nintendo lost the licensing to Squaresoft around the 64-bit era. So Final Fantasy, that kind of thing. What else? Let's see. Is there just like a list of like? Oh yeah, 25 best PS1 games. So why have I never heard of any of these? All right. So is that kind of like a? So you kind of know what's on the PlayStation 1 now?
Did Metal 2 Time Crisis? Oh man. Oh wait. Scroll up. That game looks good.
Vagrant Story.
Yeah. I like that outfit right there.
All right. Spyro the Dragon, Tomb Raider for all the
Tomb Raider's hard actually.
Really?
I tried playing it. It was actually really hard.
Oh, Crash Bandicoot as well. Tekken.
Crash Bandicoot good? I've never played.
Never played. I think I played it once. Original Metal Gear Solid. I think that of in itself brings it up to A tier, because I mean that's a pretty good lineup. Like you could go to the store and there'd be plenty of good PlayStation games, like pretty good library, and it could play CDs.
You forget. Sometimes I forget how big of a deal that was back in the day.
Yep. All right, SNES. What do we think about SNES?
SNES, that's even better. Like that's got to go higher.
I think we put the NES down to B tier. Then we put the SNES up to A tier, because honestly, the NES was like good for its time, but the SNES just got what the NES did, but just did it like a lot better. Like
you don't know how many hundreds of hours I've played on like those fake like emulated NES games.
NES,
like, it's such a good
here's the thing. The NES is such old technology that they could eventually there was a way to put an entire NES onto a chip. So the technology of the NES is so low tech, it's like costs almost nothing to make. So those like, doesn't matter how low tech, modern computers are, it can run NES games. So those like bootleg NES emulation consoles, they cost nothing to produce, because running an NES is super easy. And but yeah, SNES, I mean, Castlevania, I'm pretty sure, was on there. Like most of the franchises from NES, they just did it better. Let's see. Let's see a list. Let's see what sticks out. A lot of run and gun games, RPG games. Have you ever heard of the game Super Mario All Stars?
Yes.
It's basically a compilation of Mario 1, 2, 3 Lost Levels, and then there's also a version with Super Mario World. I mean, you got games like that. Like, it already has a lot of the stuff from NES. So, I mean, it just has, like, a really good lineup. Like, sure, if you go in, like, to a retro game store these days, when you go to a game store, pretty much the only selection they have is sports games, because people don't want to buy sports games, so they just, like, take up all the space. So, I mean, when you try and sometimes it's hard to find, like, the good SNES games, but if you can find them, there's, like, some really good ones. And a lot of hidden gems, too.
I just realized.
What'd you realize?
The entire time my microphone has been off because I was coughing.
Oh.
Like to state.
All right. Do you just want to fill us in on what you've been trying to say?
Most of the Castlevania games on the SNES, I didn't actually find throughout the entire series.
You've played the whole series?
Not my go-to. I would say it shouldn't be the highest you have on the A tier. Let's say it like that.
All right,
Here's
so
Mega Man X is one of the best games ever made, and it's on the SNES.
There's also the Donkey Kong Country games. Like, I think there's 3 of those. Some of the Kirby games, like Kirby All Stars, the Doom port, and Doom for the SNES gets a lot of hate, but they're actually remaking it for the SNES. Let's see, Doom SNES remake. They're like, for some reason, Doom is getting a new re-release on the SNES, and they're like fixing it. Let me see if I can find information. So can you guys see this? It's like they're releasing it this year. It comes in like a metal cartridge. Yeah, it comes in a metal cartridge.
Is there a way to convert it to like
the ROM? Oh well, people will probably pirate it, like put it on, dump the ROM like the first day.
It'd be fun to be able to like connect it to your computer.
Let's see. Let's see if there's more information. Here, can you just yap about something for a second while I try and find a good source?
Nathan, do you want to yap this time?
I mean, I freaking yap about.
You just gotta stall the people.
What's the worst substitute teacher you've ever had?
Worst substitute I've ever had?
Yeah.
Actually, do not have. This one lady this is in my senior year of high school, get mad at some of the students in her class for speaking Spanish.
This is God's country. We only speak God's language here.
We speak American.
I already made that joke.
All right, so NintendoLife.com reported on, apparently from QuakeCon, Limited Run Games announced that they're making a new and improved version of the SNES cartridge, including all 4 Doom episodes, including Die Flesh Consumed, Circle Strafe, performance improvements, rumble support via an all-new controller, and more. So, and there's a new chip which replicates a Super FX chip, which, and it's, let's see. Oh, never mind. There's 2 versions available. The Standard Edition and the Collector's Edition. The Collector's Edition comes with extra goodies and is limited to 666 copies. So you can get the Standard Edition, it seems like, but the Collector's Edition is only 666 copies.
Wow, that's so funny that they did 666. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, what is only buy it if Nero comes and delivers it to my door, because it's his mark.
If they actually had Nero deliver it, then it'd be worth the price.
Yep.
Thank him for his service to mankind.
If Nero delivered it and let me spend a day in his pleasure palace, then we have a deal. But but come on, the Collector's Edition isn't even that good. It comes with the same stuff, but the cartridge has blood on it. That's stupid. Why would I want a blood splatter on my cartridge? That just makes it look dirty.
You don't understand the Gucci shoes.
So it seems like I believe Thy Flesh Consumed came out. When did that come out? Because they still make new episodes for Doom 1 and 2. There was a new one. It was Legacy of Rust. That was the latest one. I thought Legacy of Rust was really good. Let's see. Yeah, I think Thy Flesh Consumed didn't come out too far after, but I think it was just after enough that SNES didn't get it. So it seems like the SNES port of Doom is going to be the same game, but it's just going to have some improvements and then an extra episode. But when people are ranking Doom like versions of Doom for consoles. The SNES version is usually at the bottom, along with like the Game Boy Advance version. Have you guys heard about the Game Boy Advance version of Doom?
No, but it doesn't
Played
sound
the Game
good.
Boy Advance version of Doom.
What'd you say, Nathan?
Honestly, played the Game Boy Advance version of Doom. Honestly, held my attention for maybe minutes. I'm going to be so for real.
I don't think it's that bad. I've played it emulated. I want to get a copy, but if you're like a kid back in the day and you're having like a sleepover with your friend, I mean, you don't have like, you can't have like LAN parties or you don't have it on like that anything. You can, if you have like one of those like wires that connects to your Game Boys, you can play multiplayer with just your two Game Boys playing Doom. So for that, like being able to play with your friends, like if you're just a kid, like let's say you're in junior high, you're just at the playground, or I guess you're in junior high, you don't have a playground. Let's say you're not in elementary school, you're just after school, sitting at the playground, you have, you know, your friends have Doom. I mean, that's a pretty good play to play multiplayer. And the controls aren't that bad. I mean, it's no worse than Duke Nukem for the Game Boy Advance. Or Wolfenstein for the Game Boy Advance, that one's pretty bad. So I think Doom for the Game Boy Advance, comparatively to the other versions, it's bad. But independently, it's fine.
I'm going to be for real. When it comes to the Game Boy Advance as a whole, like the games specifically you were listing, I was like, Game Boy Advance as a whole, I would honestly say liked the games more on the Game Boy Advance than like.
Here, do we want to move on? Do we want to move on to the Game Boy Advance? Okay, so Game Boy Advance.
Oh, you were doing GBA SP. I'm sorry.
Here, let's see. Let's move. Let's do the Game Boy original Game Boy Advance. Yeah. So I have the SP model personally. Oh, I never went over at the beginning what consoles I grew up with. I was joking about the growing up in a Christian household that doesn't let anyone play video games. I could play plenty of video games growing up. I played the PlayStation 2 up until, I think I think we got the Wii U in third grade, but early childhood was mainly just a PlayStation 2. I only played Lego games on there. I played Need for Speed 2 Underground as well, but I had no clue how to play. The only thing I would do was just crash into cars by driving the wrong way. That was funny. So PlayStation 2, we'll get to that later. And then I got the Wii next. The Wii, it was the Wii U, and the Wii U is kind of weird. Like Wii U games kind of, I don't pay much for my video games. Like if it's over $20, I'm not buying it. I mean, I usually wait for stuff to go on sale. So most of the games I play on the Wii U were just original Wii games. I did play Super Mario 3D World, and even at the time, I was kind of like, Super Mario 3D World is kind of lame compared to the other Mario games. Like I preferred like Super Mario Bros. U and that kind of thing. But I did still play it though. It was still fun.
It's again, it's the best in Mario.
It's fun, but I think they're still better. But I also played Lego Marvel Superheroes. That one was actually pretty good. I like walking around New York and just like throwing cars at people as the Hulk.
I think that's what happened the majority of the time that I played the game.
Yeah, I liked like finding the characters on the map and then like unlocking them. The levels were also pretty fun. And let's see, other Wii U games. Those are the ones that come to mind. On the Wii, I especially liked Lego Star Wars 3, Force Unleashed, that kind of thing. And then I also got my dad told me a lot about growing up with the Atari 2600, so we got an Atari 2600, and we used to play a lot of games on there. Adventure is good. Breakout is good. Warlords is really good. Haunted House is kind of hard, but still fun. Berserk is pretty hard, but that one's pretty fun too. E.T. I know E.T. gets a lot of hate, but it's honestly not that bad. Then I got something called the Retron 3. That one is just SNES, NES, and Genesis. Genesis, I think, is kind of lame. NES is pretty good. SNES is when I started playing games like Donkey Kong Country. That one's pretty good. And then I think I got next was probably N64. That one is okay, but there's just a few standout titles like Super Mario 64 which are really good. I also have
standout titles. I'm pretty sure like one of the highest rated games of all time is actually Ocarina of Time.
My brain is kind of failing me. I think there's a few, maybe like one console I'm forgetting, but I have then also Game Boy Advance SP. I've recently got an original Wii and then a 360, just because I wanted a modded Wii, because modded Wiis are nice for emulation. So that's what I have so far. Yeah, I think what I want to get next is a Sega Dreamcast. because you can easily like just burn games onto there, like on like a CD. But back to on the topic, Game Boy Advance. I think the Game Boy Advance is pretty good because it's backwards compatible with Game Boy Color and Game Boy, and it has pretty good titles. I mean, a lot of the titles are all licensed, but you also have Kirby. You also have like some Sonic titles, Kirby. Actually, let's pull up a list of Game Boy Advance games. See if we recognize
Which
any.
Pokemon did it have?
Fire Red, Leaf Green, something. There's a couple other. I'm like generalizing.
Okay.
Emerald. I forget that they have like at least 4.
There's at least 4 games in the Game Boy Advance. Yep.
At least 4 Pokemon titles.
Yeah, I think there's at least 4 games on this console, guys. All right, so let's see, Pokemon. Okay,
There's at least 5 women.
I can't name them all. Pokemon Emerald, Pokemon Fire Red, Pokemon Leaf Green, Mystery Dungeon, Pinball, Ruby, Sapphire.
Pokemon Pinball? What?
Okay, so the Game Boy Advance had like a feature where there would be the cartridges could track motion. So there'd be like a marble inside, which would be able to track the tilt on the cartridge. So if you had a Game Boy Advance, you could tilt your control. You could tilt your console, your handheld Game Boy, and then so you could tilt your Game Boy Advance, and then it would move I think it was called Kirby Tilt and Tumble. You would tilt the Game Boy, and then you would see Kirby roll around on the console. Have you ever played Monkey Ball? It's kind of like that, but with Kirby. So on the topic of Pokemon, have you guys ever gone down the Pokemon bootleg game rabbit hole?
No.
Well, I lived the bootleg gamer rabbit hole. I played every Minecraft ripoff.
Okay, but I couldn't hear you guys
a
just now.
Minecraft ripoff called Mind Test.
Mind Test is actually a really good one. Like if you looked into Mind Test, it's like actually a pretty good alternative.
My dad to this day loves Mind Test. However, I don't know where we installed it, but we got a lot of viruses on our laptop when we installed it, or on our computer when we installed it.
Yeah, Mind Test is kind of like, I'm pretty sure it's like an open source version of Minecraft, so it is mainly for like modding. Like Mind Test by itself is kind of bare bones, but you add a bunch of mods and it's pretty good. And then there was one called Survival Craft. Like you could get on the
I love Survival Craft.
Yeah. Yeah. There's still a community for it to this day, I'm pretty sure. Or Castle Miner Z is my favorite.
Check, they're still updating Survival Craft.
Yeah, I wanted to play. I should create a Survival Craft video. That'd be fun. So, anyways, Pokemon bootlegs. So when I got a Game Boy Advance, I didn't want to pay for actual Pokemon games because secondhand Pokemon games were pretty expensive. So there was a bootleg called It was like a ROM hack, but it was a bootleg version of it called Pokemon Brown. Yeah, so you got Pokemon Red, Pokemon. You got them all based on colors. Near the end they start kind of running out of colors. They start switching to like rocks, like Sapphire. But originally it was like Pokemon Green, Pokemon Blue, and then you think of all these appealing colors like red, blue, green. Pokemon Brown, like what you catching poop at that point? But it was such a weird game. Like it felt like something I wasn't supposed to have. Like it like kind of a fever dream. It functioned pretty much just like a normal Pokemon game, and I was like, I don't know, I was like 11 or so at the time. Like I didn't care. I mean, it was Pokemon. There's a lot of weird. Let me search like a list of Pokemon bootlegs.
The most successful Pokemon bootlegs, because we gotta know the ones that did the best.
The Pokemon, the bootleg games wiki. Oh man. Okay. Pocket Monster 2. So I'm pretty sure the Pocket Monster series was a ROM hack of another game where they just replaced the main character with Pikachu. Let's see. What game was it ripping off? Yeah, so you play as Pikachu, and then it was a ROM hack of Tiny Toon Adventures Buster's Hidden Treasure. Well, it says, or no, maybe I'm wrong. It just took assets from these different games, and it was a ROM hack of another game. It was basically just combining different stolen assets that made the main character just Pikachu. That's common for a lot of bootleg games. Like they'll just get a game and then they'll just like replace the character with Mario so that it'll sell
I
better.
saw a lot of that as a kid, like playing games on Newgrounds.
Bootleg games. Monster Go Go Go. What is this? It was a ROM hack of the game of the Smurf for the Game Boy Color that just replaced the characters with Pikachu and Pokemon. Yeah. All right, let's see if we can find like a traditional. Yeah, okay, yeah. Digimon, they would release like a ROM hack of Digimon, put like Pikachu into it, or all different Pokemon, I should say. Let's see if I can find Pokemon Brown. Where is it? Here, can you guys yap for a second?
What do I yap about? Like, I don't want to get super political, but I'm like in a really bad mood because of the economy and Donald Trump.
This is a political. To quote the X-Files, everything is political.
It's true.
Give me any topic, I'll make it political. Like, really name something, I'll turn it political.
Like, that's what I think is dumb. People complain about like movies and TV shows being political, when politics is just part of human thought. Like, politics is what is our lives are about. And the point of stories is to convey messages. Why would you not convey like messages about your beliefs? Like, wouldn't that make everything political? Whatever. Everything is political, so you can't complain about things being political. You're complaining about them being like the wrong type of political.
People only complain about something being political when it infringes against their political beliefs.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just looking on the bootleg games wiki now. There's a game on the Sega Genesis called Angry Birds Star Wars. You know, like based on a mobile game.
Angry Birds Star Wars.
Oh man, let me. I found a video. Let's see. I don't know if I can play the audio. Oh, come on. This is like the real thing. You guys see this? This is like literally Angry Birds Star Wars on the Genesis. That's crazy.
It's really funny.
My gosh. Okay, but no one on the podcast can hear, obviously. So let's just take a second and just look at some of the weirdest bootlegs for a second. Okay. Super Bros 4. What is Super Bros 4? Okay, this is a hack of Super Mario Bros. 2 The Lost Levels, and I think that is the only difference. I think the reason they did this was because if it said Super Mario, they could get sued. Look at the cover. This is the stupidest cover ever. I think it's because if it's Super Mario, they could get sued, but if it says Super Bros, then, then they don't get sued.
Like, when people make Warhammer STLs, they, like, make the names really dumb, like the Golden Banana People and, like, Space Warrior Brothers instead of Space Marines and stuff.
Or
Super Bros. Super Bros is a name they would use.
Someone made a Resident Evil game for the Famicom, because, Resident Evil is called Biohazard in Japan, so they made Biohazard for... what the heck? Resident Evil on... NES, so that will get a kick out of that. Brick game. What the heck is Brick game? Counter-Strike? Is it Counter-Strike bootleg? What is this for?
Counter-Strike, no.
Counter-Strike on the Mega Drive. Oh, it's a hack of Lethal Enforcers. Okay, I gotta... You guys see this?
Yeah. It's beautiful.
It's pretty tough, honestly.
Rifle! I'm gonna have... Yeah, this is... Is that like a... I don't think that's a screenshot of... Yeah, no, that's not a screenshot of any of the maps, but it'd be insane if they put, like, CS Office, like, as the background, but this is just, I think they only changed the label. Yeah.
Expect more effort in my bootleg games.
Yeah. Why are there so many Angry Birds hacks? Let's see.
Why would you even need to hack Angry Birds? Oh, wait, I know.
Oh, have you ever seen...
Apple took most of the...
Have you ever seen Windows 98 on the NES?
Oh.
You've never heard of this?
Oh.
Okay,
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Someone put Windows 98 onto the NES, but that's so useless. Like, you can't put a keyboard onto the NES. Like, what would you do? I don't know if it's, like, actually functions as Windows 98. I think it's just, like, a scam. But, like, you can do some stuff, but it's just so stupid. Like, why... I mean, it's impressive, but it's useless. Like, I just don't get it.
Impressive and useless? Sounds about right.
Let me just read the trivia. The fake BIOS screen at the start says the system date and the setup utility is 8/18/2002, suggesting that this had been developed on or after that date. In addition, the in-game calendar is shown to start on a Thursday, which August 2002 also started on in real life. Yeah, this is like when a kid like wants to like say, "Oh, can I use the computer?" And you just give them Windows 98 for the NES to make them shut up.
You can't even use Windows 98 anymore. Like
Really?
those old Windows versions, the moment you connect to the internet, will be instantly hacked because like their operating systems are so old and they're just so vulnerable to like modern like hacking techniques that connecting to the internet will instantly give you a virus.
Dang, that's crazy. I mean, what about let me search up Windows versions. What about like Windows 7 or Windows Vista? I grew up on Windows Vista.
No, Windows 7 is still good. I wouldn't put anything important on Windows Vista, but
Yeah. What about Windows 95?
nah, you just cooked.
Or Windows XP?
It's not even compatible with modern hardware.
Well,
like,
Windows
they don't
XP.
even make.
Are you dead if you use Windows XP?
No, I haven't looked into Windows XP.
Yeah, nobody gets.
I always hear your roommates just like in the background. It's great.
But McGee is just a little silly boy. I'm gonna kill him one day in his sleep.
Okay, that's great. Okay, all right. Let's get back to the list. So, Game Boy Advance, I say B tier because it's backwards compatible, has some pretty good games, has more compatibility than the DS. All right, does anyone know?
Speaking very much.
Has anyone ever heard of the 3DO?
No, it's the 3DO.
Okay, you've never heard of the 3DO. The 3DO has like the goofiest library. 3D games. Yeah, so list of 3DO games. Let's see if I can just like. So just look at these names. These are just like weird games. Alfred Hitchcock Presents for the 3DO by Toyota. Wait, what the heck? Toyota made a game for the 3DO?
What?
Okay, let's look this up. Alfred Hitchcock Presents. You guys know who Alfred Hitchcock is, right?
Name doesn't ring a bell.
Know the name off the sorry, I don't remember his significance, but like he sounds significant.
Okay, so Alfred Hitchcock directed Vertigo, The Birds.
Love Vertigo.
Yeah, and then he also wrote Psycho was also his. Yeah. So let's see. Okay, Alfred Hitchcock Presents for the 3DO. Is this just like a? How do you play this? Is this just like that shows his like episodes or something? Because Alfred Hitchcock Presents was like a series. Like, why is Toyota involved? That's what I don't get. Why did Toyota?
They're Japanese, and Japanese companies do weird things.
Yeah, do weird things. Okay, here's like gameplay. So it looks all right. It has a Toyota logo. Like, you know how like the Nintendo logo. Why Toyota? Why is Toyota making games starring? Wait a minute. When did Alfred Hitchcock die? Because if he was involved in this,
Toyota sponsors a lot of games, but
death. When did Alfred Hitchcock die? He died in 1980. Okay, good. He did not live to see this monstrosity.
Goodness, yeah.
What the heck? It's like it just has like weird Alfred Hitchcock themed mini games. What the heck? Like you know those like puzzles where like you have to like memory, you have to match up two images. That's what's going on here, but it's like Alfred Hitchcock themed. You're playing a bunch of stupid Alfred Hitchcock themed mini games. What the heck?
fun.
See, this is what I mean. The 3DO is just weird. Let's see. Blade Force. What is that? Yeah, that looks kind of fun. Yeah, but you guys kind of see like this list. These are just Doom is on the 3DO as well. Like it just has really weird titles. All right, where do you guys think we should put the 3DO?
It seems pretty cool. Honestly, let's put it
C tier.
C tier. Yeah, I was thinking C tier.
Atari 2600. What do we think?
Atari 2600.
Yeah, I think
had the chance to use it.
so. At the beginning of it, it had some pretty good titles, just like ports of arcade games. But near the end is when they started making a lot of shovelware. Obviously, these days it hasn't really aged well. Like it doesn't really hold up the same as maybe like an NES or SNES. So I say, for historical sake, we put it in B tier because it has some pretty good titles, or maybe C tier because it's pretty good like historically, but like it might be kind of a hard sell to get someone to play Atari games with you. Does that sound accurate?
Yeah, that
I mean, I really like it,
most
but
people I know.
it's hard. It's just a hard sell, and some of it is kind of hard to play. All right, let's do another weird one. Is the Stadia on here?
Stadia was cool. It didn't deserve to die. You know what Google did when Stadia died?
What?
Actually refunded people everything.
Really? I just remember all those, like, 2016 when it was a thing, really stupid Stadia ads on YouTube. I could just never hear that.
The Stadia ads sucked.
Okay, isn't it like everyone, there's like some game where like 80% of people playing it are still playing on the Stadia? Like in some other country or something?
Impossible. All Stadia services have been shut down.
Well, what do you know about
Google
Stadia?
recalled and refunded everything.
What can you tell me
It
about
was
Stadia?
the first like big attempt at cloud stream gaming.
Honestly, a lost cause, if you
Like,
ask me.
NVIDIA streaming games. I don't know if you've ever seen that. But, like, if you can't afford an RTX 4090 because everything sucks.
Well, how would you stream a game? Wouldn't that, like, have massive slowdown?
It has bad input lag, but, like, for single-player games, it's not that noticeable. Not that noticeable, it's still noticeable. So
Yeah. I don't know. I just never, like, caught on. I say,
It did pave the way, and
I say
it did pave
D-tier
the way.
because the World Economic Forum once said you own nothing and be happy. You can't own something on the Stadia. I think it's a conspiracy by Klaus Schultz to get us to own nothing and for them to own us. And I think
true.
combined with an annoying advertising campaign, I think the Stadia is a New World Order conspiracy, and I think it deserves D tier. If not,
You
F
need a
tier.
New World Order.
Yeah, because it's associated with the New World Order, Google Stadia gets F tier. Nice try, Glowies.
But the NVIDIA streaming service is pretty popular now because nobody can buy their graphics cards on purpose.
Yeah, and I bet if you went to the basement and like the tunnels of the Denver airport, they just have boxes and boxes of the Google Stadia.
Probably.
Yeah.
The Stadia controllers are still useful. Like, they're not useless. Like, the Stadia controllers are now just like cheap Xbox controllers. I've never used it. I don't know if they're good. I just know that some people use them because they're like a budget option.
Because they're so useless, they're just dirt cheap now. Let me search up on eBay Stadia controller. Let's see how much they're worth. Stadia controller. $15, $16. Yeah, these are pretty cheap. Well, there's cheaper, but
God.
they're so ugly too. They look like the Discord logo.
It looks like AI Oh my God, is that the first AI generated product?
Oh man, I hate AI.
Looks like when you ask AI to make a game controller, that's what it makes.
Okay, Engage. What do we think of the Engage? You ever heard of that?
What's that?
It's a mobile. It's like a handheld game system that's also a phone, but I just never really caught on. It's by Nokia. Honestly, okay, so Nokia is obviously the best phone brand. Can we all agree on that?
They've never done anything evil like Apple.
Yeah. Nokia making a game console is honestly pretty cool.
Not doing anything evil is a pretty high bar. Companies these days.
Get a Nokia phone, throw it against the pavement, it's going to survive. So I wonder if I had an Engage and I threw it off of a cliff. Like, we need to get an Engage, go to the Grand Canyon, throw it off, hike all the way down, see if the Engage survived. We'll do that for maybe like 1,000 subscribers or something. No promises, though.
Like my 1,000 subscriber.
We can't even say that on here. Can't even say your idea on here. Oh, man. So, let's see the game library. List of Engage games. I've never actually looked at this before. Bomberman on the Engage. That sounds pretty fun. Call of Duty.
Bomberman is a great series.
Oh, yeah. Bomberman.
Bomberman, is that like a reference to...
Oh, come on.
Gosh.
Bomberman 93 is a great game. If any of my cousins are listening, they all know that's a great game. Call of Duty on the Engage. That sounds wild. Let's see. Call of Duty Engage. Alright, you guys see this? Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. You guys see my screen? Okay, so, you guys know, like, the build engine? Like, the engine that was used for, like, Duke Nukem? Okay, so, it looks like it's made out like the build engine. It looks terrible. It's running, like, 2 frames per second. Okay, so, these are the type of games it looks like you play. Like, you know when you get your car fixed at the mechanic shop and you're in that really weird weight room with, like, the really uncomfortable chairs and the TV? This is the type of game you play when you're at such rock bottom with boredom. You know, before, nowadays we have pastimes like, well, most people, they'll just scroll TikTok endlessly, but back in the day, before brain rot was invented, you played Call of Duty on the Nokia N-Gage. You tell your grandkids about playing...
I don't think anyone ever did that.
No, I'm telling my grandkids I played Call of Duty on the Nokia N-Gage, even though I never did.
Is it spelled Nokia N-Gage? Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty dumb. I
Yeah.
hate that.
Pretty stupid.
That's horrible.
Honestly, I know this seems pretty bad, but I think this is... Wait, Civilization was on the N-Gage. I know this seems pretty bad, but it's a Nokia phone that can play somewhat decent games. Honestly, back in the day, it seems like a good deal, even if it looks kind of dumb. Red Faction on the N-Gage. Let's okay, Red Faction N-Gage. I gotta see it. Though, what the heck? That's literally just like an actual game. I mean, it's not like as high tech as the actual Red Faction. It's kind of like looks like it's on the Doom engine, but it's like an actual game. That's actually kind of cool. Can you guys see this? I guess everyone listening, look up Red Faction for the N-Gage. That's kind of cool. Sonic N? What the heck is Sonic N? Oh, Sonic Advance. Tomb Raider on the N-Gage. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
That raises my opinion of it so much.
I think Pro Skater is a perfect game for
It's pretty good.
just like a phone game. I think the N-Gage, honestly, I think it deserves A tier. What do you guys think?
It deserves
Or B tier? Like
just for being probably bottom of B tier.
Okay, let me see if I can find it again. There's a big list. All right. Atari Pong. It's literally just only Pong. It's the only game you can play on it.
They made a console dedicated to Pong.
Console is kind of a... It's not really... I mean, I guess it could be called a console, but you know, like Nintendo Game & Watch systems? It was like a system you could use that only played Pong. It was like before the 2600. Like the brown box.
Why is Game & Watch a character in Smash?
I don't know. I mean, why are half the characters in Smash? I mean, Captain Falcon hasn't been in a game since like 2007. Yeah, half.
Nintendo would probably still crucify you for using it, though.
Who would crucify me?
Nintendo, like if you used their copyrighted character,
or half all the characters from Earthbound are in Smash, and they haven't been using anything. Or
Earthbound is good though. I played it.
Or the guy from Kid Icarus. Kid Icarus hasn't had a game for years. All right, so I say Atari Pong historical value. It's pretty important, but like, can we even like compare Atari Pong to like the Xbox 360? Those are completely different. I say just F tier because like, why are we even ranking this? I mean, it's important historically, and Pong is still fun, but like the 2600 can play Pong. Anything above can play Pong.
I don't think they made a Pong port for everything though.
Oh, true. Well, it's at least below the 2600. Let's put it in D tier. How about that? Oh, but there is an Easter egg in Mortal Kombat, one of the Mortal Kombat games on the N64, where you could play Pong. Yep, there you go.
Stand corrected. Everything has Pong.
All right.
Imagine getting your skull crushed and then like Pong pops up.
What would you say?
Imagine getting your skull crushed in while someone's playing Pong in the background.
What? Oh, in Mortal Kombat. Okay. I thought you meant like the cartel.
I was like
a cartel execution. Someone's playing Pong. I'm like, what? Oh, man.
Sounds like something the cartel would do.
No, they would just watch Dragon Ball. Get it right.
It's true.
Dragon Ball is actually good, though. I don't know why they have to ruin. All right, PlayStation 2. I say...
It's not ruined.
PlayStation 2 is like the perfect console. It has like everything. I mean, let me just look at the list of PlayStation 2. Had Half-Life on it for some reason.
It's actually really good, though.
Ballers. What's good?
Half-Life automatically makes it fun.
Yeah, actually, I've played Half-Life like multiplayer on PlayStation 2. It's actually pretty fun.
Wait, do we have to go
kind of janky. It's Baldur's Gate. I'm just looking at the alphabetical, so it may not be like the best games.
Oh my god, I'm gonna be late for count. Sorry, we gotta go.
All right.
I'll be back later.
Capella's Dangerous Hunts 2. Have you played the PlayStation 2, Nathan?
No, like 0%.
Oh, dang. Didn't know that. All right. Well, definitely A tier. All right. So we're over an hour now, and we've ranked a few. But we still have a lot to go. Do you think we should split this into a part 2 for the rest?
Honestly, yeah, probably.
All right. We'll end it here, and we will pick up next time.